Today we're going to do an unboxing and installation of this Road Angel Halo dashcam. It's a 1440p dual dashcam with front and rear cameras obviously, and also it has loop recording. So what that does is that you don't have to change the SD card or clear the SD card every so often. It'll continuously record over what's already there. So first thing first, let's unbox this. So this was purchased from Costco. I think they have a couple of dashcam brands. One of them is Nextbase and one of them is Road Angel, and that's in the UK. It may differ in the US obviously. And the other one, the Nextbase, it was not one that I deemed suitable because this one is actually a replacement mirror as well as a dashcam. So we'll go into the features of this later on once we've installed it, but right now we're just going to do the unboxing. So what do you get? Obviously on top is the main event, and with a few of the specifications and the instructions, and then on the back is the actual, this is the front facing camera here. So that just that's a go around the mirror, so it goes around the mirror and it straps on, and away you go. The connections are on the top. This is for the front, this is the SD card, and I'm assuming this is for the rear camera. And you have an off-on button here, and a microphone. Oh, you have two mics in fact, one for the left, one for the right. And that's it, so that's what we have here. Oh, wait a minute, I think you have an adjustment on this as well. You have an adjustment here, so this pulls out depending on the size of your rear view mirror. So it'll fit virtually any size of rear view mirror. So that's that. And then in terms of an SD card, they actually supply an SD card with it, which I believe is a 32 gig SD card, which is excellent, which is I think all you really need for your average driver. And next we have the cabling. If you want to directly cable this into your dashboard, so you can hardwire it in as well if you wish. And this I believe is for the front dash cam, which is just a micro USB and a USB-A on the back. I believe this is the rear camera. So well, we'll see how we're going to fit this one. I'm not sure how we're going to fit this one, but I think we can get around to do that as well. We have this, which is the 12 volt. So that's fine. So effectively, this is the cabling, I believe, for the rear of the camera. So this will run to the back of the car, and that's why it's so long. This is for the front of the car. So this will pop in here into your 12 volt, but it can also be hardwired into your fuse box. So next stop is to show you which car we're going to install this in and show you the installation process. So this is the car that we're going to fit the dash cam into, and it's a Audi A5 Coupe, and this is the front mirror. So what we're going to do, we're going to run the front cable from here, from the top, along the top of the screen. We're going to remove this arm, or rather the cover for this A-pillar, and run the cabling underneath, through there, underneath the dash here, and into this 12 volt in the back of the car. Now the cabling for the rear is a bit more problematic, but not too difficult. So we'll have this, we'll remove this, and then we run the cable under here, under this this rubber seal here. Under this rubber seal here, we'll not remove it, but we'll run the cable underneath, and then once we get to this point, we will hopefully be able to remove this, or push this headliner up and push the cable underneath there, and then run it underneath the glass here, and then again remove this back arm, this back cover, and run the cable from there and then onto the back screen. And there's a little bit of space that you can pull the headliner back here. There's a little bit of give there, so we won't have to remove the headliner, I hope. I'm quite confident we won't be able, we shouldn't do that, but we can remove these covers here covering the C pillar and the A pillar in the front. So that's the plan, and so I'll get on with that then and show you the end result. Now, it is important that the rear view mirror is quite rigid, otherwise the weight of the camera or the weight of this new mirror will pull it down. But in this Audi it seems to be capable of holding quite a bit of weight, and I don't think that will be an issue. Now, in terms of fixture and fitting, I've slid out the camera, as you can see, and I've slid out the camera. This fits on really quite well, so that fits on like so, and then once we get the strap round, I think it'll look not too bad actually. So that's how it will fit once it's installed, and I'll show you that momentarily. So first job is to remove this just this tag effectively. That you can just remove that with a flathead screwdriver, and underneath that is just a Phillips screw head. In fact, it's not a Phillips head, it's actually a Allen head, so you call it a torque screw, you could call it. I think it's 5mm, and that's what you'll need. You'll need one of these tools to unthread it. So this is the the A-pillar cover, and so there we go. That's the screw goes in here, and there are 2 clips below it, and then it's just a case of pulling it out straight out, and that should unclip the clips quite easily. And so once you've got this removed, this will be easier to get the cabling down the side of it. Then you have to tape it to the side and then put the cover back on again. Now this is the airbag, so be very careful not to upset that at all. So this is the C-pillar cover, and this is covered with one of these tags, and this just, I think you have to just pull it out slightly, and then if you press in the tabs from either side, it comes out. It's a bit of a struggle, but not entirely impossible, obviously. And you don't have to take the whole thing off, I think. I think if you just loosen it a little bit here, and that's enough, that would be enough to get the cables through the back and along the top. So the next stage is to get the cables done, and I'll show you those once they're done. So that's the camera all set up now for installation. On the left hand side you have the front camera connector, on the right hand side you have the rear camera connector, and that's all the cable there. So that just has to be put in place. Now there is a red cable there at the connection there. That is for if you want the camera to go on when you put the car into reverse, but we're not going to do that. So we're just going to connect the dash cam in, nothing more. Now the reason we're not going to connect the camera up is because this car already has a rear view camera, so there's no point having 2 of them. So here we are at the halfway stage. We've got the camera up, we put the 2 cables in, and if you look behind the headliner, we managed to remove the headliner far enough to get the 2 cables in. The A-pillar cover is off, and what we will do is we will tape these cables to the A-pillar so there's no vibration, otherwise you might get a rattling noise from the cables. And then we've run both cables down the side of the console, so not the console, the fascia, and this cable here, this is the rear cable. We've still to find a home for that, but the front cable runs, if I can get a shot of it, underneath the footwell along the center console, and it comes out to here. Now as it is, it's about 3/4 of a meter short, this cable, because we want to connect it to the back 12 volt. So what we'll do, we'll get a 1/2 meter connector, 1/2 meter extension for this USB-A, and we'll connect in the front, and then we'll get on with the back, routing it through the headliner. Okay, so we finally finished the installation. It's a bit late at night, so the picture quality might not be so good, but we'll go through it anyway. So the dash cam's up and running in the front there. You've seen that before. We managed to put the A-pillar cover back on. Quite difficult to get it back right on. As I said, there are 3 clips, and it is a little bit of a struggle, but we managed to get the clips back in place. Then we ran the cable for the rear camera along here underneath this seam, and then underneath this rubber all the way along here. Then as we get inside, then we didn't have to remove this section here. We just managed to push the cable underneath here and all the way along here. There's a small gap underneath the window, but you can pull the headliner back a little bit, and that's enough for the cable to get through. Then we did have to unclip this, and what I don't understand is they've got an excellent system here where it's just a clip that holds this C-pillar cover in place, whereas the one in the front, this one here, is a screw, and that is quite difficult to get back in again. So anyway, then the cable runs underneath this seam, and behind the glass here there's a small lip, and then it just glues in, it sort of is an adhesive tab that holds it in place above the rear brake lens cover. So that's it in place. You can't see any cables at all, and this is the first time I've actually done anything like this. So let's get into the front seat. So if I can do it, I'm sure you can do it as well. So when you start up the car, oops, I have to press the clutch. So when you start up the car,
Halo dashcam active.
This is what you see. So it becomes a camera, and it obviously shows you it's recording. Now there is a way to disable the camera and just have the rear view mirror on. I haven't read the instructions yet on how to do that, but I'm sure it's quite straightforward. So that's the installation of this dash cam, and the only cables you can see are these 2 up here. In fact, there's just this one cable. The other cable tucks behind the arm of the rear view mirror. So other than that, I think it's quite a neat installation. No cables visible, and it took me about 2 hours to do, and that's because I'm really a novice at this, so that's perhaps why it took me so long. But in fact, it probably took me less than that, but I say at the very most it should take 2 hours to do. So that's that. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, or if you learnt something, please like and subscribe. They'd be very much appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.